There you
Hi,
go.
how are you? That's
I'm
better.
very well. There you go. Welcome to
Yeah.
our recap session. I really appreciate your time.
Oh, yeah, no worries. All good.
Mm. So, you agreed to have a conversation with me about your PET parenting course experience,
Yeah.
and I really appreciate that. I'm quite excited to look back. We started 2 years ago.
Yep.
You started with a course. And you completed it quite quickly. We only had about 5 weeks
Yep. It was a
that we did.
very rushed experience.
Yeah, luckily we did it one on one, not online. So
Yep.
that was also precious. So thank you. And let me jump right in. What made you decide that you were ready to accept help in your parenting journey?
Yeah, sure. So it's definitely been an interesting journey, I must say. I think at the time I wasn't necessarily looking for help. I was just speaking to a friend about how I've reached the point I think at that stage my child was 4, he's 6 now. I just reached the point where he was very, very, very hard-headed. Nothing I did worked, and both me and my wife struggled in handling him. And I guess my way of handling him was giving him a good old boxla most of the time, um, which
Corporal punishment, to give it a
corporal
PC word.
punishment, which,
Yes.
to be honest, that's what my dad did to me. So that's all I knew. And if you talk to anybody else, then you know that's the discipline way that you've got to do it. But when he started reaching the age of 3 and 4, it was personally hard for me to do that because I felt that that's all I did. And he didn't necessarily deserve that, and I didn't necessarily want to do that. But everything else we tried just wasn't giving results. He was stubborn in the way he was eating food. He never listened. He was such a hard-headed little boy. Anyway, so I ended up speaking to someone, and they said, look, many, many, many years ago, 20 or 30 years ago, I can't remember what it was. He said, I did something called the PET course, and I've loved what it did for my relationship with my kids. And I've got a personal, really close relationship with her kids. So I know what good people they are. They're like a second family to me. So she said to me one day, "Oh, look, and I'm still very good friends with someone who does PET instructors." And at that point in time, we were in South Africa for holiday, and there was a period where a couple of weeks opened up where we didn't have anything planned. My wife and I, she had to return back to Australia for personal reason. And I was sitting around going, all right, let's see if I can get in contact with Lee Marie. And that's how I started doing my course with you. And yeah, I can't look back on that time and go, it was the worst thing I've ever done. It was by far the best thing I've ever done.
Super, super.
Yeah,
So trust is a very big part of this journey we've been on. It was a
yeah,
trust relationship that referred you. You trusted the person that
yep,
referred you to me.
yep,
So trust is a very big principle in
yep,
this whole journey, and I think it's something that um, every facilitator of PT will testify to. Is we take it very serious, the relationship with that we have with our clients, and it's a lifelong journey. You stay
yep.
connected because you go through tough times through this course, and
Yeah,
you stuck
correct.
it out. Well done, well done. And what was it in the course that you found to really make a difference for you?
I think the fact that it's very structured. There's, it's not just a bit of airy fairy talk and use these sentences in this. It's a very structured methodology. So there's really key components. And if you take every component by itself and you become really fluent in each component, at the end of the day, when you put them all together, it's just everyday life. But it's everyday life in a complete 180-degree different than the way you used to do it before. So at the start, it's really hard. It's absolutely like learning a new language. It's really hard. and you have to really work on yourself and you have to change yourself. I really had to find myself changing my own personality in a way in order to adopt the key points of PET. But it wasn't hard to do because you just had to follow the steps. And as long as you followed the steps and you kept repeating things in your head, it became much easier to do. And honestly, it's now just second nature. It's not, I mean, you don't even think about it anymore. It's part and parcel of the way you talk.
Which part was hardest? Parenting without PT or learning to use PT skills?
No, parenting without PET is by far the hardest. We were on our holiday in South Africa. I did my course with you. We came back to Australia. It's now been 2 years. I have not once had my hand on my son's backside at all. Not once. Yes. Because I can manage everything through the way we communicate or the way that I say things and the way that he responds to things. And it's both for my wife and myself. It's made world's worth of difference. He's not had one smack on the bum. He's had threats, but he hasn't had one smack.
Yeah. So the trust,
that was my only answer.
Yeah. So the trust has built in your relationships.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. Trust is such a core value in relationships. To be vulnerable, to be brave, to be bold and honest, to know each other. When you say you had to change, did you become somebody completely different? Did you?
No, I wouldn't say that. I'll say I changed in the way where I had to learn to be much more open about myself, because a lot of the communication is actually not always just talking about your son. It's talking about yourself to him and talking about yourself about a different situation. So you end up just talking more and opening up more. And it's also the way that you just structure sentences. So in the past, I would have just said, what do you want for breakfast? But the moment you start doing that, he just gets overwhelmed because there's about 7 or 8 varieties of breakfast, and you can have toast and you can have. So you now structure things differently. So, well, can I help you get some breakfast this morning? Maybe we look at some of the options that's available. Do you want to go and look at the options, or do you want me to tell you what they are? And through subtle changes like that, that's where the biggest changes in myself would be. So it's not just being bouldering on ahead or off you go or just shooting a bullet. It's carefully aiming the bullet, making sure you know where you want to hit your target, what it is you want to hit, and then eventually putting the trigger and then hitting the bullseye. So that's what I would say is the best sort of personality change that you have to undergo.
Did you find JP along the way? Did you get to meet a level of yourself that you never got to know?
I do believe that. Yes, I think I've become a lot more congruent in the way I speak. It's funny you say that, because there were times where my wife and I would be having an argument and she would go, "Don't you dare PET me today." And I think that's because she's picked up in the way that I now speak. And I'd say, well, I hear you, but is there something you want to say to me? Like, it's just the way that we communicate. So I do think, I think there's a big part of myself I've discovered. And it's nothing has been bad. I think if anything, it's been a very positive, honest, open, truthful journey that I've taken.
But to teach a little kid like that when he was 4 years old to be honest and, like you said, options now, and to be more vulnerable yourself, doesn't it make him manipulate you to get his way?
I wouldn't say that, to be honest. Like, he's learned who I am and how I operate and how I make decisions. I think there's always a level of manipulation with young kids, but you very quickly pick up when they're trying to do it. And because you can pick it up, you can help steer the conversation. And they very quickly realize, what they're trying to do is not gonna fly, and vice versa. I mean, they're not, because he's been versed in what to look for. He really very quickly picks up when I try and BS him a bit too. So it goes both ways.
So the possibility of him being bullied is reduced significantly.
I would hope so, because that's always been one of my biggest fears in life with my son. I was very, very bullied back at school. So it's a very strong value system that I've got in that space.
Mm.
And I really wanted to make sure and equip him that he does not have to go through that one day. So I'm hoping with him being an open, honest, clear, precise in the way that he talks, and effective communication, that yes, I absolutely do hope that, you'll be able to handle those situations when it arises.
Because he'll be able to identify that.
Correct.
Okay. Recording has stopped.
Oh, has it? Yeah.
No. No. We just cut that out. And what has changed? I'm sure a lot has changed because he's also grown. So
Yeah.
him maturing and growing older is obviously also a factor in that. But if you would say the difference between your parenting and the experience at home prior to the course and what you experience now, what would you say is the major change?
I think the biggest change is him making his own decisions now. And he doesn't necessarily come to us to constantly ask to make those decisions for him. A big part of PET is teaching your kids to make those decisions themselves and not be reliant on you as a parent, because time is important to you as a parent as well. And you want to empower your kids to not always rely on you. That's the biggest takeaway about PET. And I think that's the biggest decision. So it's simple things. For example, like, there's a lot of cereal, so he's got a lot of options. But he used to come to us going, "Oh, what should I take?" But the reason for that was because all the cereals was on a cupboard that was too high. So he still relied on us. All we had to do was move all of these options to a lower level, empowering him to go and decide and make that decision for himself. And it's subtle things like that. So yeah, I think that's been the biggest takeaway thus far, is the fact that I don't have to battle him anymore and decide for him, and he giving up and relying on us. Like, he makes so many powerful decisions by himself now. And he would say, for example, after a hard day at school, he would say, "Please just give me 20 minutes to relax, and then I'll come and speak to you about stuff we have to talk about." In the past, that would have resulted in a complete breakdown, and us pushing him even more, trying to get the answers and not understanding. So yeah, there's an aspect of getting older, but he's already so empowered that he'll tell us when he needs space and when he needs time. So that's good.
You referenced that to me, that he already comes to you to have discussions. So what skills has he picked up just in the couple of years?
So one of the skills that PET teaches is something called the method 3, which is where if you want to resolve an issue, you come together, you talk about the issue, you discuss it, you come up with options. Part of those options could be you replaying some of those options and then deciding, option 1 didn't work. So we both try and we'll see how option 2 goes. So that's what the method 3 is all about. But there's times where you would now come to me at the age of 6 and say, because I'm very clear in my language that I use around PET, and I've told him about the course that I've done, and I've told him about all of the steps, so he knows. And there'll be times where he comes to me now saying, "Papa, can we have a method 3 discussion?" And I'll go, "Oh, there we go. We're going to go into a loop about discussing things." Now, I'm not. We've got a lot of friends, and I look at their kids. Their kids would still, at the age of 6, throw tantrums, fight if they don't get their way. say they want a toy and then get very nasty if they don't get that toy. My son would come to me and say, can we have a discussion about that toy?
Mm.
And that gives me the ability to say, oh, yeah, sure, we can have a discussion. You know, I might not have the money, but let's look at how much pocket money you've got. And if you get that toy, you're going to lose this much money out of your pocket money. But if you wash my car, you can make up the difference again.
Mm.
So yeah, I don't know about other kids his age that would come and have that discussion. Definitely none of my friends.
JB, what I'm hearing is he's taking responsibility for his own life. He's
Correct.
for what he is supposed to be in charge of. So there's no battle of the wills of control and
Yeah,
neediness.
correct.
There's a lot of responsibility um, that that is frees you up to parent and to live your
Yeah,
life
correct.
to a fuller level.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
because everything is not a battle anymore. So you're not being worn out. Like I remember when I started the course, I was so tired of the battles. I was personally overwhelmed. Like I just didn't want to deal with tantrums and battles anymore. Now nothing is a battle anymore. It's just discussion or a conversation, which is just so much lighter for everybody.
Doesn't take a lot of time, all this talking and talking.
No, it's part of everyday talk. It's part of everyday life.
Okay.
I don't like. I think you get to a point at some stage where it's just so consciously unaware. Well, sorry, what's the
And
unconsciously aware. So
okay.
it just happens naturally now, I guess. There's still times where there's big discussion points, and then I would play it in my head. Okay, how's this gonna go? But that's not unlike anything else that's big that you have to figure out first before you jump into it.
So I think that's where the effectiveness of parenting comes in the PET is you become effective. You're going to use the
Correct.
same amount of words, except now you are being effective and you're building a relationship where
Yep.
beforehand you would be nagging and talking and you'd be using the same words and energy with no result or
Yep.
no
Correct.
positive outcome, where now you have a positive
Correct.
investment in the relationship. Wow, thank you. Thanks for sharing that. I'm so
Yeah.
thrilled. And obviously you were at a stage where you were desperate.
Yep.
Would you say a parent have to be desperate? And what have you tried before that to resolve the issues at home? Or is it for everybody? Can everybody start at any stage?
I think, look, before this, I didn't have an answer. We winged it. We tried everything. A smack on the bum was at the end of the day all that fixed it, which never fixed it, to be honest. And we were at wit's end. Can anybody do this? The answer is, oh my goodness, I wish everybody could do this and not have to be desperate. I wish this is something that parents would be taught the day they have a child or the day their kid goes to their first kindergarten school day. It should be part of a school curriculum. It's such key critical skills I feel every parent should have and should know. I've heard through the grapevine, and I can't confirm or deny if it's true or not, but I've heard that it might be Finland or Sweden, I don't know which one of the two, has actually made PET part of a school curriculum that all parents have to do PET training. And
Wow.
I loved it when I heard it because it is so critical. I mean, the only other thing I could add as well is the fact that these skills, because there's a structured skill set and a structured methodology, I'm using this at project managers in my work.
Wow.
It actually puts project managers, which used to absolutely be the bane of my life, I no longer have issues with them because I can manage expectation, I can manage communication, and I can help put a lot of critical thinking back in their space just through the structure and the mechanisms that's involved. So it's not just parent effectiveness training. You can use these skills anywhere. So yes, absolutely. Should everybody do it? Yes. Should you be desperate to do it? No. You should do it way before you get desperate.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I only started when my eldest she was 14, and
Mm.
I delayed. I had the info, and I never took the action. And yeah, I can just wish I saved those trauma years of
Yeah.
preteens. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
absolutely it's fantastic that any culture, any religion, any
Yeah.
language, any age group can actually access and utilize this. And yeah, and
Yeah.
what's your journey with PT now?
So yeah, I mean that's a bit of a personal journey. So I was so, I guess, overwhelmed by the success of PET, and having seen the change in my own son and the way that we work with him and interact with him now on a daily basis. And if I have to take, and it might sound a bit selfish, I don't know what the word is, but if I have to compare my son to some of his friends, I go, wow, like so different. But I was so blown away by the course that I've decided to also become a PET instructor, with the hope of trying to get this course out to as many people as I'm able to reach, um,
Mm,
through my own personal journey. So I won't be doing it full time, but it's definitely something I'm doing part time um,
mm,
to show other people that there's other mechanisms. And we've already done one course and it's gone really well, and the people were blown away by the experience and the change in themselves as well. So
it's
yes, I guess that's
fantastic.
sort of my journey. Yeah,
Spreading the word, yes, yes, yes.
correct.
And
That's right. Yeah,
yeah, and if you say the relationships with your interaction with your colleagues change, I imagine in any workplace, in any family, you might experience improvement, even if you apply just the basic skills to it. It's not
yeah,
confined to
absolutely.
parenting. Yeah, yeah.
Correct, absolutely. And I mean, you don't have to go into the full-blown methodology when you're talking to a work colleague. You don't have to do that. Sometimes it's as simple as just effective listening, or sometimes it's just doing a method 3 because they have a problem they might want to resolve. And
Mm,
it's literally just picking and choosing the situation and using it in the right space. I mean, you're not there to lecture them or teach them or parent them. It's just little skills you can use every day. And once it becomes part of your routine and the way that you operate, you don't even think about it. It just comes out.
mm. Wow. JB, if you met somebody that told you about PT that you did not know and you did not have a trust relationship with, so you read it on the internet or it was a reference to you, what would have actually conveyed this message to you so that you can engage in this course? Because when you are, as a parent, you are so overwhelmed and absolutely frustrated, but you're also self-protecting when you feel vulnerable in your parenting
Yeah,
journey. What do you
yeah,
think would help a parent that has never had exposure and they don't know either of us from a bar of soap? So what do you think would have clicked for you when you was in that situation? Um, and what could we convey
yeah,
to parents to help them understand that this is actually a way to restore their relationships?
yeah. That's always a really hard question to answer because people are so different, and some people are so anti. The moment they hear a course, they go, "Oh, I'm not doing a course." And the moment they hear, "Oh, I've got to do all these steps and put on the hard work," they go, "Oh, it's not a TikTok video, so I'm not going to do it." Like, so it is a hard sell. I guess the best way, if someone had to convince me to do it, was to talk about the battles that I experienced every day, because that's what I was doing. I was experiencing battles every day. And then have a point of reference where you could point to something and say, you know what, there's this skill that you could learn that would help you battle that or that would help alleviate that battle that you've got going on. And by utilizing a key critical skill, you can fix battle 1, 2, and 3. Now, you might still have battle 4, 5, and 6, but imagine you didn't have to worry about battle 1, 2, and 3 anymore. And that just comes down to critical skills. Now, do you know what that critical skill is? And they would say no. And then you would say, have you ever heard of active listening? And they go, no idea what that is. And you can very quickly convey what these skill sets are in a very short and congruent and clear way. And that piques the interest. And I think the moment that interest is piqued, you sort of can then start relaying and trying to help them down that path. That's sort of the approach that I do from a very casual side, because people don't want to be sold a course. That's not what it's about. I'm not selling courses. I'm selling key critical skills that's there to foster a long-term relationship with your son or your daughter. So yeah, I mean, that's the angle I would come from.
I like the fact that you're still referencing battles, but it's not a threat anymore. When we just met, you said my house is a war zone. I remember that. And parenting is tough. When I hear the discussions on the social media platforms about gentle parenting, it irks me because parenting is tough and it creates confusion for me. I think to call it gentle parenting, it's more relatable for me because parenting, it's hard. And if you start on this journey, it's not easy to understand every new nuance in terms of now I just get it. But the relationship strengthens with every new developmental phase. And it's easy to do the hard work. And that's the fact. Is like with my grown-up children, with colleagues, in the world of PET, no conflict is a challenge anymore. It's like you get excited about differences and conflicts because the difference between the war zone and a PT zone, it's a safe zone. So now we can battle it, and it's exciting level because we're in a safe place. The relationship is safe, and the journey is safe, where it's not a war zone anymore, and we can battle it out. And that's the difference. There's no casualties anymore.
I don't personally enjoy the term gentle parenting. I don't use it. I used honest parenting because that is what it is at the end of the day. If you being honest towards yourself and true towards yourself, but so is your child. Your child is just being honest and true to themselves as well. And gentle parenting, that's just you copping out. If I'm going to be frank, I mean that's you not following soft stuff, but not owning up to the fact that sometimes you can't be gentle. But I'm not saying go and smack your child. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you've got to be strong enough in yourself and strong enough in your skills to be the parent. And a lot of people nowadays don't want to be the parents, or they don't know how to be the parents. So yes, I very much call it honest parenting. And yes, I think the people I've spoken to, a lot of them respect that more because that's what it is. Yeah.
It's so nice to be honest. It's so nice to be able to be congruent with your children and not have to manipulate and lie.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly right.
To get them to grow up, now you have to be manipulative. So no, I can just be myself. I can be honest, and every parent's picture will look different at the end of the stage.
Correct.
The principles and the skills are cookie cutter in terms of the framework, but it would look different because we have different temperaments, we have different family structures, and that is the beauty of it. It fits everybody. Yeah, JP, I love talking to you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. I trust we can inspire parents that need help, or before they even become in a situation that they are
Yep.
desperate, to reach out, and that we, on the opposite end of the world, we can make a difference with what we have. I
Yeah.
really
Correct.
appreciate your time. Be blessed,
All
and
good.
we'll speak again.
Thank you very much. I'll talk again.
Yes.
Okay. Bye.
Bye bye.